Good afternoon and welcome to our regular council meeting for July 2nd, 2024. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional territories and the oral practices of the Blackfoot Nation, which include the Siksika, the Kainai, and the Piikani. We also acknowledge the Tsuut'ina, the Stoney Nakoda First Nations, the Métis Nation District 4, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. We're making this acknowledgement to demonstrate our continuing efforts to work together as we strive for reconciliation through increased and collective learning. Going to start off the afternoon with a couple thank yous, and we got a staff introduction. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to city staff who had to go to Plan B and move the Canada Day activities to the JBS Canada Centre due to the weather there. Worked out really well. Good crowds out for all the activities. I know there's a few of us councillors that were cooking burgers there. I want to thank the councillors, I think the Elks members, other volunteers in the community. We cooked up to 2,000 burgers. The kids had a lot of fun in the bouncy castle, some excellent entertainment there. So thank you. Just relay that message there, because I know it's nice to have a plan B. It rained a little bit and it would have been, I think, a disaster, especially with the bouncy castles, with the moisture there. The JBS Canada facility is just an excellent place to host an event like that. It's nice to be outside, and I can't remember Canada Day where it actually rained. It's been about 5 or 6 years, so we've been blessed with good weather, but thank you very much. So just pass it along to the staff. I'm not going to mention a lot of names here because just too many to name, but very good effort by everybody, so thank you very much. Okay, another thank you here too is I want to give a big thanks to Kevin Swanson for what he did in raising money for the fire safety simulator. It was about $285,000, and from what I understand, he raised about $250,000, and as somebody on staff pointed out, that'd be like a 2 mil rate increase there. So thank you, Kevin, for what you did and how you made this a possibility here, and we have just a little plaque here for you, so if you want to come up. Okay, we got a staff introduction. Mike is doing the introduction here. Mike?
On behalf of the Parks Department and Rec Department, I just want to reintroduce Jamie Passy. He had previously worked for us before, and he has taken on the role of 60/40.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. And welcome back to the city there, Jamie. Okay. Moved by Councillor Woodruff that the agenda be adopted. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Nesbitt that the minutes from the regular council meeting held June 17th, 2024 be approved. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Idris that the following items of correspondence be received as information updates on council conferences and or workshops. The accounts payable listing, council committee notes, June 25th, 2024. And I believe Councillor Jessica has something here.
Thank you, Mayor. No, just more on the extended producer responsibilities of the upcoming province-wide recycling program. We did have a meeting with some of the representatives of Circular Materials, and they have the job of processing the fiber materials, cardboard and paper, newsprint, as well as plastics and metal and glass for the whole province. So still trying to, every time we meet, we learn a little bit more about the process and how the City of Brooks can fit into it or will fit into it. And then there was also another webinar from, this was actually from Recycling Council of Alberta, and they went through 3 different municipalities that had their experiences with the EPR programs, and they went all the way from opting all the way in to opting all the way out. So that's something that the City of Brooks is, as we get more details, we're going to have to go into the nuts and bolts of it. And so, for example, the program, whether the city is in or not, is required to provide curbside collection for all multifamily and single-family residences in the city of Brooks by spring of 2026. So, you know, the big question will be, does the city of Brooks want to provide that service, or do we let Circular Materials worry about it? And so we've got to look at the repercussions on that. And the other big question is, where does Newell Recycling and the depot fit into all this? So we're getting closer and closer to knowing what it all means, and there's going to have to be some talk at some of the higher levels within the city to see how we want to fit in.
Well, we look at it being down the road, it's not really down the road because it's only a year and a half away, but so it's good to be prepared for that anyway there.
Well, the first phase kicks in of April this coming year, so we have to decide fairly quickly whether we're in or we're out.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, thanks you, Jessica. Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Prentice that the Big Brothers Big Sisters International Youth Day Art Installation Report be accepted as information. Randy.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mayor and Council, International Youth Day was established by the United Nations in 1991. It's celebrated annually on August 12th to raise awareness and encourage action on issues affecting youth worldwide. In an effort to unite people of all ages and showcase the community's diversity, Big Brothers and Big Sisters is proposing a collaborative art project named Love Thy Neighbor that will be created by the community and displayed in the JBS Canada Centre with a location yet to be determined. The proposed art installation will be a mosaic of individual tiles, each created by an individual community member, and there was a photo of kind of the inspiration behind the project attached to this memo. This community-driven project will be the collective effort of a number of community groups, including FCSS, Arts, Culture and Heritage Board, Brooks Public Library, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the City of Brooks, and other community partners. This proposal was presented to the Brooks and District Recreation and Parks Board at their June meeting with the following motion made. Patty Jones made a motion that the board support the initiative from Big Brothers and Big Sisters to create, install, and display a portable art installation in the JBS Canada Centre, and that motion was carried. The proposal was also presented to the Arts, Culture and Heritage Board at their June 20th meeting with the following motion made. John Nesbitt made a motion to award Joel Powell $500 and 10 hours of free usage of the medium towards the Love Thy Neighbor mosaic art installation for International Youth Day 2024, and that motion was also carried. Therefore, the recommendation is that Council accept the Big Brothers and Big Sisters International Youth Day art installation as information.
Okay, any questions? Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Jessica that the July 25th, 2024 be hereby proclaimed as World Drowning Prevention Day in the City of Brooks.
Through the chair to Mayor Petrie and Council, on June 12th, an email was received from the Alberta and Northwest Territories branch of the Life Saving Society regarding World Drowning Prevention Day on July 25th, 2024. The Society is a national charitable organization working to prevent drowning and reduce water-related injury through training programs, water-smart public education, drowning research, and aquatic safety standards. The Society also certifies Canada's national lifeguards. World Drowning Prevention Day is one of the Life Saving Society's leading public education initiatives, with events taking place across the country to focus media and community attention on the prevention of drowning. During World Drowning Prevention Day, City Hall will be lit up in blue in support of this important day. Therefore, the Alberta and Northwest Territories branch of the Life Saving Society respectfully requests that July 25th, 2024 be hereby proclaimed as World Drowning Prevention Day in the City of Brooks.
Okay, any questions? Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Goodenough that July 30th, 2024 be hereby proclaimed as Day Against Trafficking in Persons in the City of Brooks. Robin, welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Sorry, the first one was World Day, right?
Yep, the
Okay.
World Day Against Trafficking, yep.
So human trafficking knows no boundaries. It affects every region, every community, and every demographic. It preys upon the marginalized, the impoverished, and those who are desperate for a better life. By proclaiming a day dedicated to combating trafficking in persons, we declare our commitment to standing united against the global injustice. On this designated day, we can educate our community about the signs of trafficking and empower individuals to recognize and report suspected cases by placing signs in different languages throughout our community. We can amplify the voices of survivors by providing them with platforms to share their stories and advocate for change by working with the Brooks and District Safe Communities who have already done a number of presentations within the community. We can strengthen partnerships between law enforcement, non-governmental organizations, and community leaders to enhance prevention efforts and support services for victims. Therefore, administration is recommending that July 30th be formally recognized as a day against trafficking in persons.
Okay, any questions to the motion? All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Jessica that July 18th, 2024 be hereby proclaimed as Nelson Mandela Day in the city of Brooks. Robin.
Nelson Mandela Day serves as a reminder of the importance of civic engagement and collective responsibility. It encourages us to actively contribute to the well-being of others and to address the challenges facing our society, whether through volunteerism, advocacy, or acts of kindness. Our community will be doing this by taking a walk to Evergreen Park and allowing our citizens to recognize someone within the community who has made a difference. A box will also be placed at City Hall, giving our community a chance to let us know what changes can be addressed and how they can become a part of that change. In proclaiming Nelson Mandela Day, we join a global movement dedicated to advancing human rights, social justice, and peace. It is a gesture that honors Mandela's enduring legacy and inspires future generations to uphold his principles of unity, reconciliation, and hope. It is for these reasons administration is recommending July 18th be formally recognized as Nelson Mandela Day in the city of Brooks.
Okay, thank you very much. Just maybe I'll get Jenny to remind councilors, everybody about that day as we get a little bit closer there too. And I know the communications people will do that too there too. Okay, any questions to the motion? All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Wardrop that August 12th, 2024 be hereby proclaimed as International Youth Day in the city of Brooks. It's the Robin show this afternoon. Robin?
August 12th serves as a global platform to recognize the contributions and potential of young people worldwide. It is a day dedicated to empowering youth, promoting their rights, and celebrating their achievements in building a better future for all. As already stated, a new collaborative mural will be unveiled at the JBS Center to celebrate youth in our community. And by proclaiming the International Youth Day with a free swim, we not only acknowledge the importance of youth engagement and participation, but also provide a meaningful opportunity for our young residents to come together, connect, and enjoy a day of recreation. Therefore, administration is recommending that August 12th be formally recognized as International Youth Day with a free swim in the city of Brooks.
Okay, any questions? No, good idea. Oh, Councillor Woodruff.
Apologies, this is a question for the Nelson Mandela Day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just popped my hand up there
Okay.
fast enough. So is there going to be so community members can nominate leading up to the event, and then will there be a single person recognized, or will just like a variety of people be recognized?
The variety of people will be recognized. So just a special thank you to everybody that's made a difference in the community.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. That was my only question.
Okay, to the motion here about International Youth Day. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Prentice that the week of July 14th be hereby proclaimed as Communities in Bloom Week in the city of Brooks. Amanda?
Through the chair to Mayor Petrie and Council, recently Communities in Bloom sent a letter to Mayor and Council requesting that the week of July 14th, 2024 be proclaimed as Communities in Bloom's Week. Communities in Bloom's Week annually recognizes and celebrates the benefits derived from communities in bloom and the countless volunteers and individuals that make our community a great place to live. Communities in Bloom's vision is to inspire all communities to enhance our environment and quality of life through people and plants in order to create community pride. Pride that is accomplished by nurturing environmental sustainability, enhancements of green spaces, and heritage conservation in cultural and natural environments, encompassing municipal, residential, commercial, and institutional spaces. Therefore, Communities in Bloom hereby request that the week of July 14th, 2024 be respectfully proclaimed as Communities in Bloom Week in the city of Brooks.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. I'm just going to go to Councilor Jessica there because that week, if you can kind of go over the list of events that week, I think the international judges are coming into town and what you have planned for them.
Yeah, that's correct. The judges arrive on the 17th, and we'll be touring. It's the Brooks Region communities, communities in Bloom now, so they'll be touring some of the area as well as the city of Brooks. And there will be a reception that tickets are available for at the engineer's house. And there will also be, prior to this, we have the community cleanup on the 15th. So we haven't reached the day yet where people don't drop drink containers and things on the ground, so they drop them, somebody else has to pick them up. So we're hoping to have a good turnout for that. That's on the 15th with the barbecue from 5 to 6, and then from 6 to 8 will be the period for collection. And that's a cooperative effort between Eco Brooks and communities in Bloom.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Jessica. We're going to have a busy week. The community cleanup that week, the Nelson Mandela Walk, and communities in Bloom at the engineer's house there. Okay, to the motion. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councilor Nesbitt that Caitlin Henry be appointed to the Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board for a first 2-year term commencing July 3rd, 2024 and ending July 2nd, 2026. Natasha.
Thank you. Through the chair to mayor and council. City of Brooks, the Arts, Culture, Heritage Board mandate is to assist both council and the city in providing opportunities for arts, culture, and heritage programs, events, and facilities. And the board consists of 6 citizens at large and 1 city council. The open position was advertised and there was 1 application received, and the application was reviewed by the board at their June 20th meeting. And the Arts, Culture, Heritage Board would like to forward the following motion to city council for citizen at large. A. Peterson made a motion to appoint Caitlin Henry for a first term as citizen at large representative on the City of Brooks Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board for City of Brooks Council. And the recommendation is to appoint Caitlin Henry as a citizen at large on the board for a first 2-year term commencing July 3rd, 2024 and ending on July 2nd, 2026.
Okay, any questions? To the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councilor Wardrop that council approve the use of the Elks Boardroom for the FCSS Summer Youth Volunteer Program at no charge. Randy.
Thank you. Through the chair to mayor and council. So every summer, Grasslands Regional FCSS provides opportunity for youth in grades 7 to 10 to volunteer in the community as part of their Summer Youth Volunteer Program. The program runs for 6 weeks in July and August, and up to 12 youth can participate each week. The requested space will be utilized every Tuesday to Friday during the hours of 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. from July 8th to August 16th. And this excludes the week of July 29th to August 2nd because the program will be in Dutchess that week. A letter dated May 13th, 2024 was sent to the Brooks and District Recreation Parks Board requesting use of the Elks Boardroom at the JBS Canada Centre to run the program again in 2024. The Elks Boardroom served as home base for the program in 2023, and it worked well for the program and for the facility. At the June 19th meeting, the board made the following motion. Kathy Delday made a motion to support the FCSS Summer Youth Volunteer Program request by providing use of the Elks Boardroom as a home base and recommend the request be taken to council for consideration, and that motion was carried. Therefore, staff recommends that council approve the use of the Elks Boardroom for the FCSS Summer Youth Volunteer Program.
Okay, any questions? To the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councilor Goodenough that council rescind the attached policies. I won't go through them, no. Okay, Amy.
Thank you. Through the chair to mayor and council. As presented at the last council committee meeting, administration has recently reviewed the city's policy manual and has noted numerous policies that can be rescinded as they are no longer required. And there are various reasons for this, such as repeating legislation, governing internal processes, or their duplicate policies. In total, there are 69 policies that administration is recommending to be rescinded. Therefore, administration recommends that council rescind the attached policies to the motion.
Okay, as I mentioned before, thank you for staff for going through that because some of the policies go way, way back there, and it's a good point to kind of rescind those and make sure they're updated if they have to be updated. Okay, any other questions on that? Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councilor Prentice that council approve the closure and removal of the attached charges from the specified general AR accounts totaling $21,679.46. Shelley.
Thank you, through the chair to mayor and council. So general accounts receivable, or AR, would include any amounts not billed through utility, property tax, and recreation program billing modules. The city follows a prescribed collection process when collecting overdue accounts, which includes imposing a 3% interest charge pursuant to bylaw 1319. After 120 days, any outstanding amounts are either transferred to a property tax roll, if permitted by the MGA, or sent to a collection agency. The attached listing includes 16 overdue accounts, which have either been in collections for over 7 years or are now uncollectible due to their age, or all collection efforts have been exhausted. The following list includes the following amounts: 5 accounts regarding fire inspection charges, totaling $453.75. In all 5 cases, the businesses are no longer operating. 7 accounts regarding property cleanups, totaling $4,878.79. And in all cases, these properties sold prior to the city being able to transfer the charges to their property tax roll. There's 1 account regarding outstanding sign permits and the removal or storage of the signs, totaling $9,164.94. In this situation, the company closed operations prior to collecting these charges. 1 account regarding a charge for a building permit inspection for $110.03, and this was an out-of-town customer. And 1 account regarding sewage effluent charges totaling $3,254.05, and this business is no longer operating. And 1 account regarding fire services relating to a vehicle fire for $3,817.90, and this was for an out-of-town customer as well. These amounts have already been expensed to bad debts and recorded as an allowance for doubtful accounts on the 2023 financial statements. And at this time, staff would like to remove the charges and close the accounts. Therefore, the recommendation is council approve the closure and removal of the attached charges from the specified general AR accounts, totaling $21,679.46.
Okay, any questions? Councillor Goodenough.
Shelley, I'm just curious, for these businesses that closed up shop and left town, I'm assuming, if they were to come back once we close these accounts, and would they be permitted a new permit to operate in our city once now that it's off the record?
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Goodenough. Yeah, we basically wouldn't deny any businesses permits based on what they owe in another module anyways. So typically, but definitely once these accounts are closed, then they would be, there wouldn't be any history there for if they were. In most cases, we've been trying to collect for years and years, so the likelihood of them coming back to Brooks or resurrecting their business again is pretty highly unlikely. But
Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Nesbitt that council approve Christ the Redeemer's use of the medium as a classroom space for the 2024-25 school year, and further that funds from the agreement be transferred to the reserves to be used for Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board initiatives. Natasha.
Through the chair to mayor and council, the mandate for the City of Brooks Arts, Culture, Heritage Board is to assist both council and the city in fostering opportunities for arts, culture, and heritage programs, events, and facilities. The medium has been recognized as a significant venue for artistic expression, hosting a variety of activities such as calligraphy workshops, art shows, live plays, cultural displays, competitions in photography, cake decorating, and quilting. Recently, Associate Superintendent Michael Kilcomas of the Christ the Redeemer School submitted a request to the City of Brooks seeking assistance in accommodating an anticipated increase in student enrollment for the 2024-2025 school year. The original request was to utilize the east or west meeting room at the JBS Canada Centre. However, the staff were directed by the council committee to look into other plans just due to those concerns of the historical users. And so this request was brought forward to the Arts Culture Heritage Board for consideration. On June 20th, the Arts Culture Heritage Board deliberated on the request and discussed the following conditions. And so one was to require that council amend the reserve policy to grant the Arts Culture Heritage Board access to surplus funds from the rental or lease, allowing them to reinvest in community initiatives that align with their objectives for arts, culture, and heritage. And then advocate for drafting a formal agreement between the board and CTR that details mutual requirements. So some of those included adequate financial compensation, priority consideration for classes that align with the artistic mission of the medium, coverage by CTR for utility costs and necessary facility upgrades, and adherence to the existing lease agreement with Sagebrush that's in the L-shaped room at the facility. Availability of the medium to be used for rentals, evenings, weekends, and during school breaks, and the inclusion of custodial responsibilities. Recognizing the importance of education, the Arts Culture Heritage Board supports the use of the medium for the Christ the Redeemer curriculum for the 2024-2025 academic year with those conditions, and so wanted to propose the following motion to City Council to consider. So R. Massey made a motion to approve the conditional use of the medium by Christ the Redeemer, contingent upon council's amendment to the reserve policy, and this amendment would enable the board to initiate the development of the formal agreement incorporating those provisions that they had listed. So the recommendation is that City Council approve the Christ the Redeemer's use of the medium as a classroom space for the 2024-2025 school year, and further that the funds from the agreement be transferred to the reserves to be utilized by the Arts Culture Heritage Board for initiatives.
Okay, any questions? Councillor Goodenough.
I'm just curious, when it talks about inclusion of custodial responsibilities, so are we saying that the school has to supply a janitor to clean, or we have to hire city staff to clean?
From the discussion from the board, I think it's just along the lines that if the school is going to be in there and there's multiple kids coming in and out and utilizing it, it's going to get dirty. There are bathrooms there, so that there is some type of responsibility from CTR to make sure that the building is cleaned. So whether CTR decides to have teachers in class, students do it, or they extend their janitorial contract, that'll be kind of decided in the formal agreement, but just that the board doesn't have capacity to take on cleaning from a large booking like that.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Wardrobe.
So has there been any discussions with Christ the Redeemer about the conditions at this point, or were some of your discussions with them what inspired the conditions here, or will this be brand new information to them?
Through the chair to Marissa, or Councillor Wardrobe. And I already forgot for Joel, sorry. So I did send an email out to the superintendent just to let him know that it was discussed and the board made a conditional approval and that it would go to council. So that I was just waiting on council's kind of, deliberations over the recommendation that came forward. So I didn't, I just let him know where it was at this point. So I'll follow up with him after this council meeting.
And I just can't recall, did the representative from Christ the Redeemer come to the Arts Culture Heritage Board?
I believe they did come to site last week on Thursday.
Through the chair to Councillor Wardrobe, yes. I met with Michael at the Arts Culture Heritage facility last Thursday, and he had said that the space looked like it would work very well for them. So,
excellent. Thank you.
Councillor Goodenough.
Or, yeah, maybe I do. It does make me look good, doesn't it? Yeah. Smarter. Oh, smarter. Not too. Sorry, now I'm all confused. No, sure. I'm curious on the finance side of it for a moment. If we're to give all the finances over to Arts, Culture, and Heritage for future initiatives, we currently, I'm assuming we pay the bills already for the medium. We look after it as a city. So it's not really you're incurring more costs because we're paying that already, right? Like we're already paying the utilities on the place.
Through the chair to Councillor Goodenough. So I believe the city is paying for the facility still, and so it would be the surplus fund. So it's anything above the cost to operate the building. So it still needs heated and all that kind of stuff, and the filters and boiler tanks, and there's bathrooms on site. So it would be any type of surplus over and above the cost of the facility. And Amanda probably has something to add here.
To Councillor, through the chair to Councillor Goodenough, when we address utilities, that will be part of the negotiating in the contract. So that will be something that we will add as a provision, that they assist with the cost of utilities. It'll be part of that agreement.
Councillor Jessica.
I don't know if it'll be a big thing or not. Insurance costs can be quite substantial these days, so has that been part of the consideration while they're using it? Is it covered by their insurance, or?
Amanda.
Through the chair to Councillor Jessica, that will also be part of the agreement that we have with them. I know that when we had the agreement with them, when they had the band coming in for classes within the medium, that was also a requirement that they had to purchase insurance, and they had to name the City of Brooks as an additional assured. So that is something that's very common that we have in a lot of our agreements.
Okay. This isn't anything new. We did rent it out to them during the pandemic there too, and they used it quite a bit. I like the idea of the money going back to the ACH board, for cultural events in the community there too. So, yeah. So, okay. Any other? Councillor Idris.
Couple questions, and the first one is around the space. So, are they going to use the main space, and the other leaseholder will still be there, or are they going to be exclusive, or?
Through the chair to Councillor Idris. So the Sagebrush agreement that's in the L-shaped room in that facility still stands. So that was just in their provisions, is that they still need to make sure that they can honor that agreement if they take on someone else in the main area.
Okay. And then the other question is, when they came and talked to us, they talked about either at the East and West meeting room, either to take everything at the end of the day and then start fresh tomorrow, versus taking the whole space for the whole time. How is that going to work with the medium?
So in the provisions that was listed by the board, part of that was to have the class be able to be taken down, evenings, weekends, school breaks. The bookings that are in the Arts Culture Heritage Board are typically evenings, weekends, or during holidays. So they want to make sure that that facility is still being used to support the arts, culture, and heritage community.
Okay. My third question is about the rate. I'm sure you currently have some sort of a rate for. Are you thinking about charging the same rate, or are you thinking about bringing in a new structure of rates?
I think I would say that we'll have to figure that out, I guess, when we look at all the demands that are going to be needed, is to kind of come to a cost that is going to make sense for both parties.
Okay, makes sense. The other question is about the reserve. What's you wanted to change the reserves policy. What does the current policy say, and what do you want the policy to say going forward?
That is a great question, and I'm going to give this to Shelley.
Okay.
Through the chair to Councillor Idris. So currently, the intent of this is that we would create a reserve and add it to the reserve policy. And that reserve, in the reserve policy, would be specified where the money comes from. So it would be surplus amounts, and that would be spelt out, and what it can be used for. And it would just indicate it would be used for initiatives from the Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board. So that we'll add that next time we revise the reserve policy, we can add that reserve.
And then one last question. So we currently give the board some money to grant, I believe. Could that balance this and see if two different things?
So through the chair to Councillor Idris, currently the Arts, Culture, Heritage Board does not have a budget. We just pay for the cost. There's budgeted amounts for the facility, for heating and things like that. And the only amount that is going to the Arts, Culture, Heritage is for the
grants.
grants, which they just distribute out. So there isn't a budget, as like EcoBrooks has a budget to spend, and so there's
Yeah,
not.
and
a-
that's-
So to
that's-
correct
and
that,
that's
they
what they
do
meant.
have $5,000.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
I thought it was 10,000.
No, 10,000 is
Is
the
the
grant.
grants.
Oh, right, right, right.
$5,000
There's two-
is their
Oh, that's
budget.
right.
Two
Yeah,
parts,
yeah.
well, right, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right.
And that's what I meant,
Sorry.
like, my question is that,
apologize.
my question that, could that mean we look at that again and see what will be the best way to fund or to support the organization?
Through the chair to Councillor Idris, I guess it'll depend on the duration of the agreement. You know, the request at this time, it's from CTR, is the 2024-2025 year. And council did provide grant funding for $10,000 for the grant for the board to distribute to the community. Probably depend how much surplus funds come in to consider if the council continues to give that or if it comes from that budget.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Councillor Nesbitt.
I just wanted to state that this is a great opportunity, not only for the City of Brooks, but for the Arts, Culture, and Heritage Board, and we should support this wholeheartedly with a smile.
Councillor Woodruff.
Just a follow-up on the discussion of rates. So the last time that Chrysler Deemer rented the building, was there a special arrangement or was there just a general rental agreement applied?
Through the chair to Councillor Wardrop, there was a formal agreement drafted. I don't remember the cost off the top of my head, so
Not
we would
asking
have to look
specific
into
numbers,
that.
but was there, you know, did you guys just have a general rental number, or was there like more of a negotiated rental agreement in terms of cost?
If I recall, well, and I don't know if there was negotiated, but because the pandemic was on and they needed a
Right.
place for their band, and we weren't using our facility for any other thing there, we thought it was a great way to generate some revenue for the city and for the ACH Center there too. So that's what had happened. Obviously, this scenario is a little bit different here now too, but yeah.
Yes, so I don't know the cost. If you wanted to know that, we could get it too, yeah, from the past one.
Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Oh, sorry, did you have another question? You didn't have another? Okay. Moved by Councillor Idris, that bylaw 2418 being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta to amend bylaw number 2202 being a bylaw to provide for the establishment of a Safe Communities Committee be introduced and read a first time. Amy.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mayor and Council. Safe Communities Committee meetings have been canceled in the past due to lack of agenda items, or if meetings are held, sometimes there are not enough members in attendance to have quorum. The budget is approved at the beginning of each year, and the Safe Communities Facilitator, Community Policing Unit, and Community Peace Officers take on a large part of the initiatives that the committee hosts, so there is less of a need to meet monthly. The new bylaw states that not less than 6 meetings be held each year. Therefore, administration recommends that council provide 3 readings and adopt this bylaw.
Okay, any questions? Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Idris that bylaw number 2418 be read a second time. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Jessica that bylaw 2418 be given 3 readings at this meeting, has to be carried unanimously. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Nesbitt that bylaw 2418 being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta to amend bylaw 2202 being a bylaw to provide for the establishment of a Safe Communities Committee be read a third time and adopted. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Jessica that bylaw 2419 being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta to amend bylaw 1412 being the land use bylaw be introduced and read a first time. Lisa.
Thank you, Mayor Petrie. Through the chair to Mayor and Council, bylaw 2419 is a amendment to the land use bylaw. We received a request from the property owner at 315 3rd Avenue East to change the zoning on their property from industrial light to commercial general. So this, it's an industrial property right now. It contains an office and 5 bays of rental space. The owner wishes to include additional commercial options within the rental spaces. He has potential tenants, and their use is not currently listed within the industrial light zone, so they'd like to change that zoning. The general area surrounding the property has a good mix of both light industrial, some commercial general, and one property that's heavy industrial. And given the proximity to the housing, both single-family detached and high-density housing, park space, schools, this proposed change towards commercial general doesn't really seem to be a problem for the neighborhood. The commercial general district does have similar uses to what's listed under industrial light, but also has additional uses that don't exist within industrial light. The existing tenants in the building, their uses are all currently permitted within commercial general, so none of the existing tenants will be displaced through this land use zoning change. So at this time, Council, we're recommending that Council complete first reading of bylaw 2419 and that we set a public hearing for July 15th at 4 o'clock.
Okay, this is the first reading on it, so to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Idris that a public hearing be held on July 15th, 2024 at 4 p.m. to gather public input regarding bylaw number 2419. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Wardrop that bylaw 2420 being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta to amend bylaw 1412 being the land use bylaw be introduced and read a first time. Lisa.
Through the Chair to Mayor and Council, another land use bylaw amendment, bylaw 2420, is initiated by staff, and it proposes to redesignate a number of lots from residential low density to residential medium density, and one lot from residential low density to residential high density. So following the passing of bylaw 2416, when we created a new residential land use district, residential medium density, staff is now looking to designate all those properties within the community that should be designated as residential medium density. So residential low density will encompass properties of 1 to 4 dwelling units. Residential medium density will be 5 to 8 dwelling units, and residential high density will be anything over and above 8 dwelling units. So several existing buildings in the community have 5 to 8 dwelling units, and those are the ones that we'd like to change from residential low density to medium density. And then just through this exercise, staff was able to find one property that actually had 10 dwelling units, and we'd like to rezone that one as residential high density. The reason to do this is because when we created that new land use bylaw designation, we essentially put those existing properties into a position of non-conforming, so that non-conformity could create issues if they're looking to sell the property, to do some new construction, some renovations, any sort of development permit or development addition or building reconstruction. So therefore, to save the property owners having to rezone at that time or to get a letter of nonconformity, we're just rezoning them at this time. So next steps in this adoption process are that a public hearing would be advertised and held for the rezoning of these properties, and that council would complete first reading. So staff is recommending that council complete first reading on bylaw 2420 and that we hold a public hearing for July 15th, 2024 at 4 o'clock p.m.
Okay, to the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Prentice that a public hearing be held on July 15th, 2024 at 4 p.m. to gather public input regarding bylaw number 2420. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Wardrop that bylaw 2421 being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta to authorize the mayor and acting chief administrative officer to execute an agreement with ATCO Gas and Pipelines Limited to renew an agreement with and confer a franchise on the company to deliver natural gas to customers within the City of Brooks be introduced and read a first time. Shelley?
Thank you, through the chair to mayor and council. So in September of 2004, City Council approved bylaw 0410, which authorized the renewal of the natural gas distribution system franchise agreement. As this 20-year agreement will be ending this year, attached is bylaw 2421, authorizing the city to execute a new agreement with ATCO Gas and Pipelines Limited to deliver natural gas to customers within the municipality. The agreement will give ATCO Gas and Pipelines Limited exclusive rights within the municipality to provide, operate, and maintain the natural gas distribution system and to use portions of the roads, right-of-ways, and other municipally owned lands which have been designated by the municipality for the purposes of constructing, operating, and maintaining a natural gas distribution system. The agreement sets out the terms in which franchise fees paid to the municipality for consideration are calculated and governs the required process for municipalities to change the franchise fee rates. As well, ATCO Gas's core services are outlined in Schedule A of the agreement, including how certain standards such as system reliability, customer satisfaction, and public safety are measured. There are no substantial changes contained in the proposed agreement compared to the September 2004 agreement. Administration has reviewed this and recommends that Council proceed with a 20-year renewal term. The process for completing this agreement is as follows. So Council gives this bylaw first reading. Alberta Utility Commissions, AUC, reviews and advertises the intent to renew. Council gives the bylaw second and third reading upon approval of the AUC, and the agreement forms a part of the bylaw, of this bylaw, marked as Schedule A. So the recommendation is that Council give bylaw 2421 first reading and authorize the mayor and acting CAO to sign and submit the form of application to the Alberta Utility Commission for their approval.
Okay, to the motion. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Goodenough that Council authorize the mayor and acting chief administrative officer to sign and submit the form of application to the Alberta Utilities Commission for their approval. Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Nesbitt that bylaw number 2422 being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta to amend bylaw 1505. Oh, this is the new one. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Being the waste management bylaw be introduced and read a first time. Who's that? That's me. Okay, Amy.
Thank you, through the chair, to mayor and council. To assist in addressing the illegal dumping issue within the city, new wording has been added to the waste management bylaw. This includes wording that would allow officers to issue a ticket to someone that directs another person to illegally dump waste or prohibited waste, as well as the ability to ticket the owner of a registered vehicle that is involved in illegal dumping. So this would be if video footage is obtained and the driver can't be identified, and the requirement to remove waste or prohibited waste within 24 hours after receiving notice to do so. Therefore, administration recommends that council provide 3 readings and adopt this bylaw.
Okay, to the first reading. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Woodruff that bylaw 2422 be read a second time. Anybody have any questions on the bylaw? Okay. To the motion, all those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Jessica that bylaw 2422 be given 3 readings at this meeting. Has to be carried unanimously. All those in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Idris that bylaw 2422 being a bylaw of the City of Brooks in the province of Alberta to amend bylaw 1505 being the waste management bylaw be read a third time and adopted. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Prentice. Okay, I'll just, before I go into closed session here, any questions from the media?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, there is. I'd like to go back to the discussion about the medium, please. Are there not tax dollars going into that organization?
There would be, and Natasha can clear it up, we do pay the utility costs into that. That would be some of the tax dollars that would go into that. The second part would be the grant, the $10,000 grant and that, and then there's also a $5,000 budget that they get. So those would be tax dollars going into that.
I'm sorry.
And
Okay.
I clarified that, yeah, okay.
Okay, so just so I'm understanding, there is tax dollars going to that organization, and yet the school board is going to be renting the facility with funding over and above all of that money going back to arts, culture, and heritage? Am I understanding that correctly, please?
I hope I can answer this for you. So the goal would be the surplus funds would go to the board to put back into the community for arts, culture, heritage opportunities, programs, initiatives.
So, sorry, what are the surplus funds? Is it the surplus funds over and above the utilities, over and above the $20,000 that is going in from taxpayers' dollars?
So currently, the costs of operating the building are paid by tax dollars, which would be utilities and repairs and maintenance and things like that. With the agreement, then those dollars would cover. So any surplus would be any surplus left after that.
So then, would it be fair to say that in budget discussions for 2025, 26, maybe 27, that the city may look at the $10,000 and $5,000, depending on where we are, the donation, depending on where the school is in terms of being constructed? Like, is this something, this wouldn't be something, I guess, set in stone, right? Because if they get the approval to go ahead with the school, let's say in 26, let's say, but they're still in the medium.
For Christ the Redeemer or for the public
Christ
school?
the Redeemer and, well, both.
The request at this time is just for 2024, 2025. So I think those conversations will have to happen at the next budgetary time when that information
And that's fine,
is
thank
available.
Yeah, and I don't think we would know until, down the road.
And the last question I had is, and I don't know if this is allowed, when municipalities have bad debts, can they go to a collection agency to collect those debts, or are they not allowed to under the MGA?
Yes, we certainly are allowed to collect our bad debts through a collection agency, and most of these have either been held in a collection agency for more than 7 years, but all of them have been deemed to be uncollectible.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sandra. Okay, moved by Councillor Prentice that council close the meeting to the public for agenda item 10A, personnel as per section 24, FOIP, and agenda item 10B, third-party request as per section 16, FOIP, at 5:22 p.m. All those in favor? Carried. Yeah, we got time.